Hello everyone and welcome back to .NET Core Central, the website for everything .NET Core. In this video I am going to introduce reactive extensions and implementing reactive extensions along with the Kafka consumer. Reactive extension is a library which is used for composing asynchronous as well as event-based programs using observable sequence, and also we can write link style queries on top of it. And apart from these two, the other feature it provides is scheduling. In this video I am going to focus only on observable and link style query. So to start with, what I am going to do is I am going to use the NuGet package for reactive extensions in my consumer project. So to understand what is a consumer and producer, you can refer to my previous two videos where I have covered streaming with Kafka in .NET Core. But just to give you a brief introduction, Kafka is a streaming infrastructure which is mainly used for publish subscribe of streams, and a producer is a component which is used for publishing message into the Kafka, and consumer is again a program which is used for consuming message which are published in Kafka. So I already built out the Kafka producer and consumer, and using reactive extension in the consumer is the next logical step. I'm going to first add the reactive extension NuGet package into my project, and for that I'm going to open up manage NuGet package window, and here I'm going to search for system.reactive, and once it is available I am going to add the system.reactive, system.reactive.core, system.reactive.interfaces and system.reactive.link, these four. And let me start with the system.reactive, and I'm not going to use preview, I'm going to use the stable version. Installing system.reactive.core. The next one is system.reactive.interfaces. So let me install that. The last one is system.reactive.link. After the NuGet package is installed, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an interface. Add new item. I'm going to select the interface and I'm going to name it as iBooking stream. I'm going to make it as public, and then I'm going to create two methods inside of this interface. First one is void publish, and it is going to publish a booking message. I'm going to create the class, and the next method is going to have is a subscribe, and the subscribe is going to have a couple of things. First thing is going to be a string, and that's the name of the subscriber. So subscriber name, and the second one is going to be an action, to keep it as action. So that's my iBooking string, which has a publish and subscribe method. The next thing I'm going to do is create the implementation class for booking string. So I'm going to go add new class, and I'm going to name it as booking string. I'm going to make it as public, and this class is going to implement the iBooking stream interface. The next thing I'm going to do is to refer to the reactive extension interface. So system.reactive, and then I'm going to use a class provided by the reactive extension infrastructure, which is called subject. So I have to use reactive.subjects subject, and the subject is going to be for booking message. It's going to be the name. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a list of subscribers. Now the subject class implements iDisposable, and so is the consumers which are returned by the subject. So for that I'm going to create a dictionary and this is going to be string is going to be the key, and the value is going to be iDisposable for the subscribers. And then I'm going to create a constructor. In the constructor I'm going to create both the booking message subject as well as the subscribers. Just going to build so that this threads quickly goes away. I do not see any issue with the code, and everything looks fine. To know more about subject as well as the reactive extension as such, please go to my website. The link is given in the description below. Now I'm going to implement the publish method. So in the publish, what I'm going to do is whatever message I get as a part of the publish, I'm going to push it into the reactive extension stream. So for doing that, I'm going to get the booking message subject and call the on next on the booking message and pass on the message to the stream. And in subscriber, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first check if subscriber dot keys or contain keys or contain key subscriber name, which is going to do a not of that. Then I'm going to go and add the subscriber. So then I'll say subscribers dot add, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the booking message subject dot subscribe, and in the subscribe I'm going to pass the action which I received. Oh, and I have to give the key to the subscriber, so that's the subscriber name which I missed. Subscriber name, and then subscribe. So you can see the subscribe method returns an iDisposable, and that's what will be added to the subscriber. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to implement the iDisposable to this class and implement the dispose method. And in the dispose method, I'm going to first check if booking subject is not equal to null, then booking subject dot dispose. And then the other thing I'm going to do is for each subscriber in subscribers, I'm going to do a subscriber dot dispose. Subscriber dot value dot dispose. So this will dispose of all the disposable item. So this is the implementation I have. I'm going to come back and implement the link query into the subject after I finish the plumbing with the consumer. The next thing I'm going to do is go to the booking consumer and change the implementation of the booking consumer. Now for that, here what I'm going to do is, first thing what I have to do is I have to create a constructor which would take the booking stream and then when I receive a message from Kafka, I'm going to do booking stream dot publish, and I'm going to say new of booking message and message equal to message dot value. Now I do not have the message property defined yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and define it inside the message class. You can see it's defined, and then I'm going to get rid of this line because this is not needed anymore. I also do not need this action, so I'm going to get rid of it, and then I'm going to go into the booking consumer and change the contract. So my contract is changed. Now I have to go and update the program. So I'll go here. First I'll create the booking stream. And here I'm going to pass the booking stream. And then I'm going to get rid of this. And after I create the booking consumer, then I have to attach the subscriber. So I'm going to do booking stream dot subscribe, and I'm going to give subscriber 1, and then for the action I'm going to say message goes to console dot write line. I'm going to do m dot message. This will print out the message, or I can say, be a little bit fancy and say subscriber 1 message so it will print the subscriber 1 message. And similarly I can have another subscriber. This is just to show that you can have multiple subscribers subscribing to the same message, and then they can do whatever they want with that. So here it can say subscriber message formatted, and here it can do message dot maybe substring, and I will start from 0 and take the first 2 characters. That's what I'm going to do for the subscriber 2. This is something which was not possible with the Kafka implementation. It was possible to trim the message, but it was not possible to have multiple subscribers. So With reactive extension, we are essentially creating a stream on top of that, which can be subscribed by multiple subscribers, and they can do whatever they want inside of this solution, instead of creating multiple subscriber for the Kafka itself. So that's the advantage. That's one advantage. The second advantage is, for example, I do not want to take any message which is empty. So for that, what I can do is I can go back to the booking stream and I can change the implementation here a little bit. But before that, first I have to add the namespace for system.reactive.link, and that will give me the extension method needed for filtering out the message that I do not want. So I'll say where, and I'll say message goes to message.length is greater than 0. So I will not accept any message where length is not greater than 0. This is just an example on how you can use the link feature on reactive extension. This is extremely powerful. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start my project. I wanted to do one more thing. Currently I do not get the information when the consumer is started. So what I want to do is I want to have some sort of logging so that it can tell me what it is. At the same time, I do not want to hardcode console.write. So for the time being, I'm going to just take an action of string logger. In future, it can be a implementation of some sort of iLogger maybe. For the time being, I'll just keep it as action. And here, once the subscription is done, I'm going to just call this logger with the message subscribe, and then here I'll say on message attached, and I do not want to log all the code, so I'm just going to keep it like this. So this is going to be, and here I'm just going to pass console.writeLine. That's all. So now my implementation is complete. I'm just going to build the solution, and after that I'm going to start my producer and consumer both. So I have an extra close bracket, so I'm done. So this should finish the build. Let me do it again, and the rebuild is complete. Now I'm going to open up the command prompt for running my producer and consumer. So first let me start the consumer. Run. Okay, my consumer is subscribed. Now let me start my producer. So my producer is also started, and I'm going to send a message here. Hi there, Core. And here I get, for subscriber 1 I get the whole message, and for the subscriber 2 I just get hi. So as you can see how simple it is to integrate the reactive extensions into existing application. I have used Kafka for the out of process message communication or out of process messaging, and I'll be using reactive extension for in-process messaging. So basically inside of my application, my web API or web application will be getting multiple messages through this channel, and I can use it with multiple different subscribers. So I'm just going to recap. So I've used the booking stream where I'm basically using publish and subscribe, and I'm using the subject provided by the reactive extension infrastructure for using the IObservable instead of creating my own IObservable and IObserver. Now if you want to keep observable and observer separate, then instead of using subject, you can have an observable class as well as observer class and implement respective interfaces. Subject is way more simpler and easier. For more information on reactive extension, you can visit my website where I have some important links. That's all I have for today. I'll be creating more videos on .NET Core. In my next video, I'll probably start with MVC page because I want to continue with the streaming, and the next logical step for the streaming would be to use SignalR. But for using SignalR, I have to have a user interface ready, at least a plain vanilla interface. So I'm going to start with the MVC next, and then we'll continue with SignalR from there. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.